Welcome into Fintech Savvy by NXTsoft and OmniConnect, the #1 fintech to financial institution API connector. Now first, a bit of our own news before we get to the rest. NXTsoft just announced an exciting new partnership with Yapily, the leading European-based open banking infrastructure provider, which means our US-based API partners now have the ability to connect with European financial institutions, and Yapily gains entry into the US financial market. That's a win-win for open banking. So, speaking of Europe, here's our first story. Stripe is opening a brand new fintech development office in London that will focus on open banking, embedded finance, and bank partner integrations. Headquartered out of San Francisco, the payments giant is investing big in the European market, having just announced plans to recruit hundreds more engineers in Dublin over the next 3 years to expand its very first international engineering hub. London, for its part, has emerged as a leading hub for fintech over the last decade. More than 75,000 people in the city work directly in fintech. And in the first half of 2021 alone, London-based fintechs raised $5.3 billion, which is a new record. Emma Burrows, Stripe's London head of engineering, said this: "London is a global leader in fintech with a strong engineering community deeply committed to driving better financial services for consumers and businesses. Stripe engineers in London are already helping build the future of financial services, and we're excited to do even more with our fintech development office." Next up, Twitter is rolling out its tipping feature to everyone and allowing users in the US and El Salvador to actually tip in Bitcoin. First unveiled in May, Tips is designed to help users make money from their Twitter feeds. Now it's available to all iOS users and should be available to Android users within the next few weeks. Here's how it works. You can add a link to your profile to a host of different payment platforms, including Cash App, Patreon, Venmo, and GoFundMe, plus more. And when someone sends a tip, they're taken off Twitter to the selected app to send funds, and Twitter doesn't take a cut. Tipping with Bitcoin uses Strike, which is a payments app built on the Bitcoin Lightning Network. Esther Crawford, staff product manager at Twitter, says this: "We want everyone on Twitter to have access to pathways to get paid. Digital currencies that encourage more people to participate in the economy and help people send each other money across borders and with as little friction as possible help us get there." Twitter CEO Jack Dorsey has been a longtime crypto champion, predicting back in 2018 that Bitcoin would one day become the world's single currency. His Twitter bio simply says #Bitcoin. And finally, welcome to the rise of Wall Street finance influencers, or Finfluencers, if you like. Social media is enabling influencers to descend upon the financial industry, exponentially grow their followers, and notch lucrative brand deals along the way. 25-year-old Austin Hankwitz, for example, told Bloomberg that he makes more than $500,000 a year working with brands, consulting companies, and posting finance videos on TikTok. And Hankwitz certainly isn't the only one getting paid big bucks to promote financial brands and products. Influencer marketing is a fresh take for the sometimes stuffy finance world, and it taps into a traditionally hard to reach demographic: younger customers. There's a risk here though. Some warn the trend could also lead to fraudulent content and misinformation. For now, Finfluencers are making bank. And that's all I've got this week. Fintech Savvy is brought to you by NXTsoft and OmniConnect, and if you want to break the integration barrier and fast track your fintech, or if you're a bank or credit union and you want to connect your core to anything, we would love to hear from you. Go to nextsoft.com and reach out. Until then, we'll catch you next time on Fintech Savvy.